Hey listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available. Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Cap Discoveries conference call. Today is November 6th, 2025. And today on our call, we have the CEO, Craig Milne from Innovotech. Innovotech trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol IOT. The company is currently trading at 24 cents with about 52 million shares outstanding, or about a $12.5 million market cap. I'd now like to hand it over to Paul Andriola.
Hey, thanks a lot, Trevor. Craig, great to have you back. We've had John before, so I think hopefully everybody here has a good understanding of what Innovotech's all about. But obviously, since we last had John, company's been pretty busy and a lot of things going on. So we thought it was time for an update. Before we sort of get into updates, maybe refresh everybody and remind people what Innovotech's all about.
Yeah, sounds good. We're a contract research organization in Edmonton, and we support health product companies with their regulated testing. So a lot of it is in the development phase, and we help support with microbiology or analytical chemistry services to help them get their products to market faster.
Perfect. Now, you just announced your, I think it's your Q3, your Q3 numbers. A significant bump in revenues. I think it was 190% over the same period last year, but you had an acquisition in there. So maybe let's talk about that. Clearly a record quarter for you guys and a strong quarter, but what happened in Q3?
Well, actually, I think if you go back to Q4 of last year, you'll see that there's been a series of pretty strong quarters here. We've been working pretty hard to just grow revenues, both organically through the business that Innovotech has been in for over 20 years, as well as the acquisition that we achieved in Q4 of last year. That does add, about $350,000 per quarter for us every year, or every quarter, sorry. And so, yeah, that trend has been continuing. If you look quarter over quarter, we've been doing pretty well. So just keeping that going.
Mm-hmm. What's causing it? Like, is it industry? Is it just you guys getting better at what you do? More, I guess, more wallet share from clients. What's the reason for the organic growth in the business?
That's, I think, just a lot of good work from the team here. So we've got some very long-standing clients that have several big projects that we've been executing, and consistent good work from our team enables us to do larger projects for our clients. And so we do have a number of clients that are in a product release cycle for themselves. And so, by being able to support them through that phase, it generates good revenues for us. So, just really good hard work that we've been gearing up capacity for. And if you look back over the past 2 years, we've talked about hiring, we've talked about adding equipment, adding footprint to our laboratory space, and all of that so that we had that ability to service bigger projects from our clients.
And I mean, do you see that continuing? Like, is it a trend that's maintainable, or have you sort of hit a sweet spot and you can't keep growing at the pace you've been growing, or how do we look at that?
Well, we've been growing at almost 100% a year, so I'm not going to guarantee that we can keep that pace up. But yeah, continue growing, yes. And really, when I look at things, we have a lot of clients that are early in development cycles. And when they get to a point where they are ready to launch a product, the increased activity for us goes up substantially. And so we have, 3 or 4 clients right now in this product launch cycle. And so that's part of what generates the large increase in our organic revenues. And of course, those products, once they get launched, that drops off. But we see, a number of the other clients that are early in that phase starting to pick up. And it's just, we can tell based on the types of projects we do with them, the types of questions they ask, the frequency of the projects recycle. So For the foreseeable future, we're confident that we can maintain the scale that we're at and continue to grow reasonably well. So.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine there's a fair bit of a repeat business with these type of customers as they go through these different cycles. But how do you go after new customers, or do you? Are you, is there places you can go and grow outside of your current client base?
For sure. The majority of our large clients are medical device companies.
Mhm.
They make either wound care products or implantable medical devices. And there are quite a number of those clients out there. We have worked with a lot of them over the many years we've been in business. And so a lot of the activity can come from past clients. Like we have clients that we might not hear from for 2 or 3 years, and then they come back with a new product that they're ready to launch. And because we did good work for them years ago, they come back, we scale up. We've got new offerings for them. Again, greater capacity to do work. So there is a lot of opportunity there. And even within companies, the companies we deal with are very, very large. There's several different divisions. And so
Mhm.
we treat those as individual clients, essentially. We could
Right.
be dealing with 3 or 4 different divisions within the same company. And so, one product line for a company can spill over to, internal referrals, and now we've got 2 or 3 different lines from that same company. So.
Mhm. Now, you talked about capacity a couple times right now. Give us a sense of your ability to grow with what you have right now. Are you fully utilized as far as your capacity? And if not, what do you need to keep growing?
We always try and maintain a pretty high utilization of our staff, and so
Mhm.
people are quite busy, and any downtime we have, there's always projects that we uh, can pull out of the woodwork to keep staff busy. That's important. We always have capacity in terms of laboratory space, and I've talked a few times about us switching from sort of a classic Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 type operation to,
Mhm.
as we pick up weekend work or move into shift work, there's enormous capacity we can grow with the equipment and the laboratory space that we have. And a lot of our staff are interested in sort of the idea of a 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. It gives us more efficient operations. So we can quickly add capacity, even though we're running quite efficiently right now.
Mhm.
And we're always hiring too. So that's, we hire in advance and we train people up so that we're ready for those projects as they come in.
Mhm. Now, looking at the financial statements, you're sitting on about $1 million in cash. Warrants, I believe they expired today, so you had a bunch of warrants there as well. So I'm assuming, those warrants are in the money. You got a good chunk of cash there. What do you do with cash right now?
So some of the cash, and we are acquiring new equipment. And we're
Mhm.
focused, a lot of the new equipment that we're purchasing is for our analytical services business. So we acquired Keystone Laboratories last year. They do a lot of analytical chemistry for the pharmaceutical industry, natural health products. And so we're acquiring new analytical equipment, which allows them to expand the scope of services that they offer. And that's, in the order of several $100,000 worth of equipment. The
Mhm.
rest of the cash, we do intend to hold on to it. We are looking to grow by continued M&A, and so
Mhm.
holding on to some of that cash just gives us the ready-made powder when we find that right target for us.
Mhm. You partly answered my next question, M&A, pipeline, and like if you're out there looking, maybe what sort of sectors, what kind of areas are you trying to go after, I guess?
Um, Ultimately, more services business, something that is aligned with the core of what we do.
Mhm.
That's important. And so there's a lot of adjacent services to the types of things that we offer. And so to similar clients, though, so whether it be biocompatibility or further analytical type services that and it could be different equipment, it could be different expertise. Our challenge right now is we are still a very small company, and so we have to filter down on a size of company that we can not only afford, but it's really important for us to want to imprint our DNA on the next company. We think part of why we're successful with both our clients and our staff is the culture that we have. And so we want to carefully take on another company so that we can continue the good legacy that we're building here for around our people and how we deal with clients as well. So so really looking for boutique CROs, services-based organizations. Eventually, we're going to start to want to get more into product and technology-based acquisitions because they are more scalable. It gets us off of the pure services model. But that definitely has to be done carefully. There's high risk in product commercialization, and we want to make sure that we don't spoil what we're doing today with aggressively pursuing a product that has risk in commercialization.
Geographically, I believe Keystone is in your neck of the woods, in Edmonton. Geographically, are you limited in terms of where you want to look, or are you out there looking everywhere?
For acquisitions, we're open to more or less anything. There's a big Canadian filter that we put on everything because, especially with, we actually had an interesting opportunity in New Jersey that we were looking at, and it was about a week before Trump announced some ideas of not wanting money to leave the country, and so we just decided this is just too much risk. And so, we're open to everything, but realistically, it makes the most sense to be in Canada or places that are easy to do business. So
yeah, makes sense. I forgot to remind everybody that's listening, if you've got a question you'd like me to ask Craig, please use the chat function and we'll fire that question at him. Business is significantly bigger than it was this time last year. More headcount, I'm sure, and challenges. Is what keeps you up at night now different, that you're bigger than you were before?
Oh yeah. No, I certainly I feel the pressure to maintain the scale that we're growing at, because it really has been about 100% a year. So that's one of the things, well, two of the big things that I think about a lot, one of them I mentioned was culture, right? As we grow, we're including some full-time contractors or near full-time contractors. We're about 40 people now. And I think when I started, we were 7. So that's a lot.
Wow.
And so the culture of how we maintain that changes. People used to work elbow to elbow with everybody. And now sometimes people don't remember everybody's names, and that problem continues. So we have to make sure that the culture is strong so that people stay engaged. And I truly believe that, strong foundation of the business comes from having great engaged staff first. So that's important. The other, keeping me up at night really is for myself. Like, we need to build scalable systems here. I'm the bottleneck in a lot, and I need to make sure that as we grow, we build systems that can grow with the company and that don't become any individual person bottleneck. And so, I think there's a line in our MDA there that from a few days ago, where we talked a little bit more of a team-based approach to how we operate. And it's true, if you scale back 6 or 9 months, there was big responsibilities lay with individuals. And now we've spread that out so that there's small teams that deal with those. And that's intentional so that we get a couple of, intelligent people working on these problems, but there's also redundancy and just extra capacity. There's people go on holidays and all sorts of things happen there. So, having a more team-based approach to how we deal with clients, how we deal with, major service lines and major decisions is really important as we scale.
Earlier you mentioned Trump and some of the things that have gone on there. Do you see a change in how you're doing business? I imagine for a number of your customers are probably in the States. Is business different now under this sort of regime?
Surprisingly, it's not so much actually.
Okay,
We're
good.
lucky in that respect. The tariffs haven't directly hit us, or at least not appreciably. Some of our clients, um, at various points, they seem to have maybe been a bit cautious in terms of their investment of, wanting to move forward and launch products, but
Mhm.
ultimately, it hasn't really impacted us that much. I think that everybody just sort of has to figure a way forward, and
Right.
you can't stop and wait for years.
Mhm.
So, we just keep going.
Yeah. Um, we asked sort of what keeps you up at night, but what gets you excited in the morning? What new initiatives or things that you've launched or are looking to do gets you excited?
Um, there's always great ideas that the team has that we
Mhm.
execute on, and even something really small. We've had for years this MBEC assay, which is
Mhm.
it's really how the company started. It's a
Right.
96-well plate that allows people to grow biofilms in vitro. A lot of medical devices are silicon based, right? Silicon tubing, silicon coated
Mhm.
implants. We had a client ask us a couple of weeks ago. They said, "Do you have a silicon coated MBEC assay?" And strangely enough, we don't. And so, we have a fabulous chemist said, "Can you do this?" And within a couple of days, she put something together. And now we have, I think I got one here actually right here. Ta-da, look at that. So you can't see much, but
Yeah.
there on these pegs here is a thin layer of silicon rubber, which mimics medical device surface coatings. And so we're launching this on Monday at a conference in Portland, where I'm
Yeah.
headed. It's the Association for American Society for Microbiology Biofilms Conference. So we'll be unveiling this as a new product. Um, it's small, but it's exciting for us.
Sure.
Small in terms of revenue impact, but it's, you know, we want to continue to be at the leading edge of the field that we're in, and all of those advancements keep us
Yeah.
there. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everything matters. Absolutely. Innovasil, talking about sort of new initiative and stuff like that. Anything new on the Innovasil side?
We're still working hard on that one. So Novacil is a silver-based antimicrobial,
Mhm.
and it's a little bit of a the always the bridesmaid tale for us on this one. All of the collaborators that we worked with have really uh, given us really strong positive feedback. The performance has been great, but we haven't been able to cross that barrier into a really good licensing deal. And so,
Mhm.
you know, and there's not a good reason why that hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened yet. Um, I guess always the bridesmaid. But we are starting to look at ways to commercialize that on our own. And I
Mhm.
think I mentioned that in a call a little while ago. There's some simple products that we can put together ourselves. Topical based antimicrobials, those are
Mhm.
interesting. We've done some work with 3D printing with Innovasil as an ingredient in the 3D printing.
Mhm.
And the interesting concept there would be you could 3D print something that was antimicrobial by default.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
you can see a few of these materials out. You can purchase silver-based 3D printing filaments. They don't
Mhm.
work though. And we're the experts that can, we buy those products, we test them, and we know they don't work.
Right.
But when we make an Innovasil impregnated 3D printed material, it does work.
Wow.
So imagine, there's big plans to send uh, people to Mars. There's plans to build a new lunar base. They can't do that by bringing all the materials with them. So one of the plans is to 3D print everything.
Right.
They're going to need medical devices when you get people living on those kind of remote locations, and you can't bring the medical devices with you, so you have to
Right.
fabricate them on site. So all of a sudden, you could have 3D printed materials with uh, embedded antimicrobials by default and,
Right.
quite easily done. And so those kind of things are really exciting. And we're, for us, it's actually fairly easy to do. We've done a lot of the homework ourselves on the back end here. And now it's just about how do we take that to the next level, look for commercial partners in the, say, the 3D printing world and go from there.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so we've looked at everything kind of on a backwards basis here, but looking forward, what do you think are what are some catalysts or anything? What kind of metrics should we watch out for? What should we pay the most attention to going forward?
I think my answer to that previously was, profitable revenue growth. That's still where we want to continue focusing. That's especially the profitable side of it. That's important for us to be consistent about that. Doesn't always have to be large, but I do want to be consistent on profitability. In terms of milestones and sort of announcement as a catalyst, I do think that we're going to have some small announcements around Innovasil this year. Again, mentioned a little bit in the MD&A was another family member. We just called Innovasil 2. It's a water-soluble version of this silver. And that opens up a whole new market space that we've never had before, where you could use it as a surgical spray. You can use it as a cleaner. Places where Innovasil 1, sort of our traditional workhorse, has not been capable of doing it because it's not water soluble. It's more like sand. And it's a great coating, but not very applicable for some things. So there'll be some announcements around that. Looking forward to what they are. I'm not sure exactly what they are yet. That's not we're not sitting on anything, but I sense that there is going to be something good coming. And then another acquisition. I think we've spent enough time sort of absorbing Keystone, which was executed in November of 2024. And we've learned a lot of lessons from that. And, we've poked around the edges of some other opportunities here. But now that we've got some cash in the bank, some good quarters behind us, I'm confident the direction that our stock price is going to go. I think all of those ingredients come together for us to execute another acquisition. So.
Outside an acquisition, do you see need for more capital, another equity raise at some point?
No, I don't think so. We did take on a small convertible debenture recently, and that was really just as an equipment financing idea. We've been talking to our bank for a while about an equipment financing loan, just so that we don't spend precious capital on revenue generating equipment. And so the bank was moving slowly, and so we had some interest from a shareholder that stepped up and was able to support that. So
fantastic. Well, listen, I've exhausted all the questions, so we're left with one last question. That's what's the key message you want to make sure everybody walks away with today?
I think you said to me about a year or so ago, focus on the fundamentals. And I think the news release that we published a few days ago was one of the shortest news releases you might see out there. And I think it intentionally, we're not trying to sing a bigger song than we got here. Just we are doing the right things. And if you look, we're doing what we said we were going to do, and I want that pattern to continue. And we'll build the shareholder confidence by good execution. And so, I do hope people continue to watch our story and join the bandwagon here as we continue to grow.
Well, Craig, congratulations. I mean, we've known you for a while, and certainly share price has reacted nicely over the last little while, but your business has. You've executed on an acquisition as well, so a number of things to commend you on, and appreciate it. As a shareholder, happy to see what's going on, and happy to continue the ride here and cheer from the sidelines.
Great. Well, I appreciate it very much.
Awesome. We've been speaking with Craig Milne, CEO of Innovotech, symbol IOT in the Venture Exchange. Craig, appreciate it, and look forward to the next time we can catch up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you. Bye for now.